I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And we're about to do another band we've never done before. By the way, we just saw that Star Wars movie yesterday.
I liked it.
Man, Bag of Shells.
I knew you weren't going to like it.
Not really a fan.
But you know what? I hate Star Wars stuff. So I expected to not like it like I don't like all the other ones, but I liked it. So I think that I went in with low expectations, so I enjoyed it.
I didn't have any expectations either way, but I didn't really like it.
Plus, you told me it didn't get high ratings, so then I was like, boy, usually the Star Wars gets high ratings. This one has low ratings. It's going to suck beyond suck. So I had my mozzarella sticks, a ginormous cup of water.
I also took my my card. I was pumping gas, and I put my card on top of the planet-destroying SUV that we have, and so then Sori comes out, and she distracted me, obviously. So I'm like, "Hey, babe," blah, 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 blah. And we get in the car, and like halfway down, when we're going to pay tolls because taxation is extortion, I realized that we didn't have our wallet.
Literally, this is not the first time something like this has happened. The last time, he put the laptop on the top of the SUV.
Nobody wants to hear that story. All right.
And again, it was because he was distracted by me.
So if you see a wallet...
I happen to like that. I think it's terrible that his poor wallet was lost and that his computer was destroyed. But I love the fact
his
that
MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're distracted to that degree because you're so smart for you to make that kind of miss must mean I really do something to your mind.
This is Karnivool. I don't know if it's Carnival or Karnivool. Somebody's gonna be like, actually, it's pronounced chess match. That's actually how the thing is. Anyway, I'm actually excited about this because a lot of people are like, you're gonna like Karnivool. So, you know us, we'll be honest if we like it or not. Here we go. Karnivool, What I Know.
Okay. that doesn't sound like metal at all.
That's fine.
That I really liked.
So...
That was extremely unique, I thought. Well, no. Unique in... What was unique? There was something really, really unique about it. But then, like the singing and stuff, I thought... I loved the vocals, but it sounded almost like something that is common, you know?
I really like the vocals.
Oh, me too. I'm surprised you did.
I really, really like the vocals. This week, we had... Did we do Periphery this week?
I don't know, my calendars.
It's Sunday now. I feel like, yeah, we did, because
did.
when I heard The Gift of Guilt, I said, this beats the Periphery song.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I got 3 songs that make my playlist. You know, my shower playlist?
Yeah, I'm gonna start one of these on the, like, in our list of playlists. I'm gonna have Vin's playlist and Sori's playlist, and I'm gonna add to it.
Yeah, this is definitely...
Going in there.
I like, you know, this, the Periphery, and Gift of Guilt. I like to listen to all 3 of them at the same time. Mm-hmm. Well, back to back. Although, listening to those all at the same time would be interesting. I really like this song. I really like this song. What do you mean you didn't think I'd like the vocals? Why wouldn't I like the vocals?
Maybe because I enjoyed them so much that I thought, okay, this probably won't be something you'll enjoy.
I'm gonna listen to the song again right now.
Definitely.
I will want to take my shower. You'll have to do editing. Hardy har. Yeah, this is really, really good. Golly. Okay. Overall, what do you think the song is about?
It sounds like that the person is, like, they're opening up their mind to a reality beyond what they have known, and that but I was a little like, because he said, this is my sense of reality and this is proof of my coming of age. I'm a soul taker. I'm a cruel-witted mind. So I don't know if they are viewing it as a negative thing to open themselves up to that at this point. But
yeah,
that
you're a cruel-witted mind. That would be a negative thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like. But then he says, like, are you with me? Are you of like mind? Because a lot of times when we're going to do something so crazy or super adventurous, like, you don't want to do it by yourself. So it sounds like, are you with me? Like, I mean, we've thought things through and the implications of things and gone in on things with full understanding of the fallout of that open-minded thinking. But we've been together on it. So,
yeah, the lyrics here are saying this is a loosing of theology. I wonder if it's losing of theology, so I'm going to try to find where he said that. Where does he say that? Not losing.
Well, that's what
losing
I thought it was losing. I didn't even. But it could be loosing too.
Okay.
In the sense of you're loosing it to let it go.
So the name of the song is All I Know, and I am assuming that based on our, most people are going to say, okay, this is him, like, coming of age, becoming an adult, and realizing that all the theology that he was raised with was bullshit, right? And it then turns you into a soul taker and a cruel-witted mind. In the sense of, hey, sorry, none of that shit is really real. Because you know how you talk about losing your soul?
Yeah.
In a Christian world or whatever? So once you lose that understanding of believing in God and all that, and then you start becoming, you start letting people know, then you take their soul too.
Yeah.
And then you're a cruel-witted mind.
Yeah.
Meaning it's a cruel thing to do to kind of...
Well, yeah, plus when he said a cruel-witted mind, I thought of that he's so intellectually driven, that because a lot of people feel like that religion is an emotional thing. Oh, like you need to feel good about when you die, so you create some god to make you feel better. So it's an emotional thing. So an intellectual mind, a cruel-witted mind, like if if you strip somebody of the existence of God, it's because you have no emotion. You're just a cruel-witted mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
the idea that people have about it.
Yeah. And what I have found, unfortunately, is that there are blind theists who just believe things just completely by faith and not much intellectual rigor, which, I mean, I guess is okay. There are also blind atheists who are very, very thin as far as their understanding of history and theological systems and arguments. I mean, I've seen it on both sides.
But wouldn't you say that the Christians that are thin Christians, or that are just solely just believing by faith, they also have not done a lot of studying into their own theology and understanding in that? Because when you try to have a discussion with them, they get all riled up because they don't really have an answer, which is the same is true of the atheists.
The difference for me is that the Christians who take step by faith have a very self-aware understanding that they're not very intellectual about
That's
their
true.
faith. They just say, hey, I just
That's
believe it,
true.
I don't
No,
know
no,
all
no,
that
that's
stuff.
true.
Whereas the atheists,
Yeah.
they act like they, and then I'm like, okay, well, blah, 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 and they're,
Yeah.
it's like, hello?
Right.
And on top of that, there has yet to be a mind, in my brief reading of theology and philosophy, that rivals Aquinas or Augustine in just erudition and just the body of work. I mean, Augustine is that thing that says, if you've said you've read all of Augustine's work, you are a liar. Because, the guy he was just a robot. And he was a bishop and doing all this other shit. And there's a war coming and all that. And he's just putting out all this content. So there's at least in the western side of the church, there is a real good, strong, healthy tradition of being able to think. The guys that, when we're in the controversy and about the nature of Christ and homoousios versus, it's just, Christianity has a very, very rigorous, disciplined, intellectual history. Because think about it, you have to be, if you're talking about an infinite concept. You're taking infinite concepts and trying to break them down into digestible, finite categories. And so you interplay with epistemology and ontology and all this other stuff, and people assume that I've been to school. I barely graduated high school.
Right.
All of this came from reading Christian classics. And those Christian classics that then pointed me to Hume and Russell and Voltaire and all the rest of it. So you can get there from, now I will say, I've met very few Christians that have read Christian classics.
Yeah, but you have a particular type of mind that is very interested in what you're reading. Like, some people are not like that. Some people are like they see a big book and they don't think, oh, cool, information. They think, oh my word, that's too big.
Right.
Like, you have a particularly curious mind.
Yeah. And I, like for example, we've got this guy Alec, and he's gonna help me think through some.
Yeah.
And the guy's an actual I think he's a biologist. I think he teaches at a college or something like that. Really young dude.
I didn't hear
tell
what he was, but
you could tell
I could tell by the way that he talked that he was very smart. I'm like,
you could tell, like, the guy's an actual
smart raider when
but he doesn't,
that guy's smart.
He doesn't carry that stereotypical. I don't even know if he's an atheist or what.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't carry this. I know everything. But he's a smart bastard. He knows his shit. But
like he did.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of had this conversation with a famous friend of ours, and we were talking about modern day atheism, and he was like, yeah. And he himself is saying that a lot of them aren't doing their own research. Because I made the quip that, they watched the Sam Harris video. He said, exactly. And, he's done bunches of studies himself to come to his conclusions, but he was talking about how a lot of the...
Well, and I think that when you talk about Christians and then they like will meet up with like, say, a Jehovah's Witness, and they do a little bit of research on the topic of which questions will stump the Jehovah's Witnesses or which ones will make them feel uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they go with those. And if the discussion goes anywhere else, the Christian is
They're
not
done.
prepared.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably what happens with the atheist that just watches that thing,
same
does a
thing.
little bit of research,
Same
just
thing,
enough
so,
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
somebody be like, I don't know what to say to that. But if you actually have somebody that knows more about the information, another random item that's here. I don't know why I always want to drag
They're
random
talking about
items.
these deep topics, and then in comes the comb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, I look at this song. It's about losing the sort of mindset you had as a child when you come into adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, and now that I'm a man, I leave childish things behind.
Yep.
And my question as I was looking at the song, I'm like, what if everything was flipped? What if you came with an atheistic understanding of the world, and then you got hit with theology?
Well, you wouldn't be a soul taker
Yeah, you
or
would.
cruel-witted mind.
Yeah, because everything would be flipped. So you'd be taking people away from atheism and into belief. That you'd still be taking their soul in a sense.
How could you be cruel? Because you're taking away from them what they knew?
Well, look,
I mean, when you look at the implications of an atheist mindset and all of the stuff that you were pointing out, again, I haven't done a ton of research. I've taken your research and stuff, but when you're saying the militant side of atheism and stuff, if you're taking that,
well, yeah, but just like there's different denominations of Christianity, there's different ways of applying atheism in the world. Some of it's nihilistic, some of it is totalitarian, and some of it is hedonistic. So it's like, hey, we can do whatever we want. Nothing's going to happen to us. So let's eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. So let's say that you had a whole society of people that were in that mindset, and everybody was chilling and having fun, and nobody felt like there was going to be any, And then now you're saying, actually there is this divine being, and he does say, the way that you're living is wrong, and you have to follow his. That would be soul crushing.
I see.
Because there's benefits to theism existentially. There's also benefits to atheism existentially.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you're saying.
And there's things that are not so fun with theism, and there's things that are not so fun with atheism. But if you constructed a society with only the atheistic benefits of the worldview, and then you came in there and actually said, you blew up the whole thing and said, actually, and you could bring them to the point where they actually went from unbelief to belief, it would actually wouldn't it be a scary moment?
Yeah.
If you were like,
I guess it would be.
here's a crazy thing: atheism doesn't even necessarily preclude a concept of life after death.
That's true.
So it could be, hey, who knows? And maybe we'll scientifically discover where your energy and consciousness goes after death, blah, blah, blah. You can still believe in an afterlife and all that shit as an atheist.
I had a dream last night. I didn't believe in God, and that I didn't even know, the concept of God was something that didn't even exist. And I was laying in my bed and I was thinking, someday I'm gonna die and I'm gonna go nowhere. But there was no answers out there. It was just like this cold silence and fear of what was to come, because there was nothing. There was nothing. There wasn't even I think when I'm awake, I think, well, if somebody's an atheist or they have no belief, and they believe that there's nothing after you die, and that thought comes to them and they become fearful of that thought, in the back of their head, they've heard other ideas, even though they may not believe those ideas.
There are options.
There are other options. They could say to themselves, well, it is possible that there's something else. It is possible that the Christians are right, or it is possible that you reincarnate. Those things are possible. But in this world, in my dream, there was no possibility. There was no other thoughts. It was just nothing. And it was such a fearful, fearful thing. So I just, when I woke up, I thought, oh my gosh, there are some people that maybe feel that way, that are in that sort of a situation, though, even though there are other thoughts out there, maybe because they don't see them as viable options, they live in that. And it was fearful, I thought.
Well, read later Voltaire, and that was the world he lived in.
Well,
Yeah, this line was interesting to me. Walking, waking, falling, free of gravity.
I actually liked that line.
It's an interesting line because...
Falling and free of gravity, you would go up, but falling, you go down. The reason that you fall is because of gravity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's a song by this band, Receiving End of Sirens, that nobody ever requests because they were a flash in the pan and then they broke up, but they were a brilliant band. But so there's a song in Receiving End of Sirens where he says, give me gravity, give me gravity, give me something to rely on. Because gravity is probably one of the most reliable things that you can depend on.
Yeah.
Like, we depend on gravity. We assume gravity
every
in
day.
Everything.
You step out of bed in the morning, you assume you're going to be standing on the floor.
Yeah. Like, gravity is such a, that's when I kind of jumped off the flat Earth train. Because I said, well, because they were like, how are we spinning on this globe and nobody falls off into the ether? And I was like, I wasn't trying to be funny. Because if I'm truly open-minded, I need to hear these people out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be like open-minded and then just go, oh, it's stupid. So I'm like, okay, tell me what you got with the flat Earth stuff. How come it was a genuine, I don't know if you were there or not.
No, I wasn't.
It was a genuine question. I was like, they were like, how are we not, flying off into the world? And I was like, well.
Yeah, or stuck on the ice walls.
I said, well, I mean,
Don't they believe that there's ice walls around?
Some of them. If you're a flat earther, I swear to God, like, I want to talk to you and I want to have this discussion. I'm not convinced
that we're not on a.
Don't say that.
I'm not convinced.
Don't say that.
Why?
What do you mean you're not convinced?
I'm not convinced. But you know what?
That the Earth isn't flat?
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I want to hear more about both sides. This is not me saying I don't believe in it.
Okay. No.
Do you know I did that? That thing you were watching with that girl, she was like, I don't believe in protecting and taking care of the earth.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the big homie Candace Owens.
Oh, no.
Alec, I gotta talk to you about that, my man. Joe Rogan was like, yo, it's like 87% of climate scientists believe that human-generated global warming is a real thing. Yeah. And she goes, yeah, I don't believe it. And he's like, you can't say that. Yeah. You don't believe it.
And then she was saying she hasn't done the research. She's like, somebody would have to.
He said, say that you don't know.
Have an opinion.
He said, say you don't know, but don't say you don't believe in it. Yeah. She was like, no. Well, of course, what Joe was missing in that moment was that's her brand. She can't say that she doesn't know. Her brand is, far-right Republicanism, right. So she's stuck saying she doesn't believe it,
right.
Whether or not the facts say otherwise. I'm open to anything, so there could be climate change, there might not be. You've got a good argument for macroevolution. Well, I want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. There was this guy who's like, remember we were watching the Gojira video and you were talking about the white blood cells going into the thing, and I was like, that just happened randomly for no reason. I had so many people saying, are you saying that you don't believe in evolution? That's so ignorant. So first of all, there's this thing called theistic evolution where people say, well, God set the principles of evolution in motion. So me saying that I don't think that the way that our body works happens randomly, that doesn't militate against evolution. But besides all that, what I said to the guy was, well, are you a biologist? He goes, why is that relevant? I'm like, have you done any work at all about this concept of, macroevolution at all? Or, because I know my man Alec, I mean, that's what he does. That's his life. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about you. So I said, are you a biologist? He's like, why is that relevant? I was like, well, because he called me ignorant, which is true. I am ignorant. There's a lot of things I don't know. To be ignorant just means to lack gnosis.
Knowledge, yeah.
So, just the negation and I in gnosis, right? So you lack gnosis, fine. I said, well, you were talking about it like you were some big time biologist, like you've done the work. That was the end of the conversation. It's like, nobody's as open-minded as they think they are. You're ignorant. First of all, it was a logical, it was a logical flaw on his part to assume that just because I believe definitively that there's a creator, that doesn't militate against his brand of evolution, whatever it is. But anyway, it was funny.
We just believe in the cause of the evolution. it happened.
I don't know. Now that I actually have an actual scientist who I can actually talk to and pick his brain instead of a guy that went through, 7th grade chemistry, and passed with a C-, who now jumps on YouTube and acts like he's, Stephen Hawking. You know what I mean? Like, please. But the concept of gravity, that this reliable law that keeps me in my chair and keeps you in your chair and all this. And he talks about falling free of gravity. So to me, in the other song where it says, give me gravity, give me something to rely on. Something to keep me here enough. Because it's true, like if we didn't have it and we were just floating off into the ether, can you imagine what a nightmare that would be?
Yeah.
Who discovered gravity, by the way? Was it an atheist? So I think
I think Newton, or am I making myself out to be a fool?
No, you're not.
Was it him?
Pretty sure it was Newton. What goes up must come down.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Yeah, that
the whole apple thing.
That was Newton, who was a theist.
Finally, something stayed stuck in my head.
Yeah, Newton was a theist. So yeah, for sure. He was an Aryan, but he was a theist. He was an Aryan in his Christology, but he was a theist. Not Aryan as in Aryan, but he was an Aryan as in Arian, as in he took Arius' side in the controversy on Christology. But so yeah, the concept of gravity and falling free of gravity is, I don't think he's talking about physical here. I think he's talking about
I don't think it's physical either.
the mind that now that he's graduated and he's come of age beyond I'm just saying silliness, because he didn't portray it as silliness, but sort of the childish things that he had before he came of age. Now he's completely untethered, and the next thing he says is, we just severed these umbilical wires.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I was thinking that you sever the umbilical when the child is gonna start living on their own, apart from taking that life from the mother. So they severed it, but the baby was ready, so that's why the baby can sustain and live on its own. Obviously the mom still has to take care of it.
Right.
So I was thinking, when it gets severed, the umbilical cord, maybe that's the part where he feels he's a soul taker and the soul is done and now it's just about his mind. But then when he breaks off, then it seems to me that he then now has a life of his own, so he has a soul in his own way. It's not that same that he had before.
Yeah. And if we're right about the we're harping on the losing theology thing, but that's not the only thing he talked about that you're losing when you come of age. Your entire sense of reality gets reoriented. But he says we're moving further through an endless design.
So it was meant to be.
You can't.
This journey was meant to be taking place.
Well, from my mindset, I have a very hard time reconciling the idea that there are people who say they don't believe in God, but then use their language is very assumes a creator. Even if you say things like laws of nature or things like that.
Yeah.
Those to me assume a certain type of mind behind it.
Yes.
Because I've never ran into a law that wasn't written by someone.
Right.
So here we're moving through an endless design.
Yep.
Well, no, you're not. You're moving through endless randomness. You're not moving through any design. The problem with the world is that it looks pretty freaking designed. You know what I mean? Like our body. You know what I mean? So it's just a weird there's theory, and then one of the things I always say is what people really believe is what they say in those unguarded moments, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, and maybe maybe I'm reading too much into the artist. Maybe he wasn't saying I'm completely shirking off theology, because you've lost certain theologies that you grew up with. It doesn't mean that you completely lost the concept of God.
No.
But it definitely fucked up your entire life for a while.
Absolutely did. Yep.
I mean, go from Arminianism to Calvinism. See if this song doesn't apply to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily have to go from theism to atheism. It could be going from one set of beliefs and perceptions about God to another. and it doesn't even have to. So anyway.
And again, I like the umbilical cord thing, the umbilical wires, because I think a lot of times there's like a new branch of parenting that says, like, parents will say, well, I don't make decisions for my child, let them make their own decisions, which is bullshit, because if your kid is stealing, you're not going to say, hey babe, do what you want, you're going to make your own decisions. There are certain laws and moral things that you teach to your children. You just decide possibly to not teach them theological decisions, and you want them to make their own mind up on that. But when they do that, with the coming of age thing is, I think that moment where you say, oh, yo, my parents had a thought process, and my thought process mirrors theirs, and is that what I really want? And I know that definitely happened to me, and that was kind of what started me on a journey and a search for myself, for my own spirituality, because I thought, my parents could be wrong. I mean, who the fuck am I to say that we have the right religion just because I conveniently came up in this religion?
Right, you were born in the United States, so.
I just happened to be born into a middle-class family that has the right religion, that didn't have to struggle growing up, that why was, so then that really started to make me think, and I was, at that point in my life, I had been working, out in having a job, so I was meeting other people and seeing that a lot of these people had very, very hard upbringings, like very hard, and some of them had some sort of belief in God, some didn't have any belief at all, and so that really started me like really searching it for myself, because they were asking me questions because they admired in me my strength of belief, but all the while I was questioning that belief. Each time they were questioning me, I was questioning my belief system even more, because I said, can this withstand, or is this just,
I remember running into you that first year, and you were this very strong, whatever. But then
I had been on that journey for like 2 years.
Yeah, you'd want me to hang out.
Oh yeah.
She'd want me to hang out after the Bible. Not for anything. It was just she had all these questions, and she saw me as an idea machine.
I said, yeah, I can. And he wasn't afraid of questions, and that was something that I hadn't seen. So I said, I have got to talk to this guy, and he just talks. So I'm like, he would hang out and just question after question.
I remember that time when somebody at work told you about Hammurabi's code, and you were like, yeah, this guy said that there was something like the Ten Commandments, like before Moses, and that's wrong, right? And I was like, no, that's true. The guy didn't know it was Hammurabi. Uh-huh. I was like, no, that's Hammurabi. He's probably talking about Hammurabi, and yeah, that was around before Moses. The strong shall not overpower the weak, all that good stuff. I was like, oh yeah, for sure, that's Hammurabi. And you look so scared.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Because I always thought...
Because it was at the beginning of the Bible study, and then you were like, shh, we'll talk about it after. Don't destroy the minds of the lemmings.
I can't, yeah. Oh my God. Because I was leading the Bible. I was doing the whole thing. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were like contemplating kicking me out. She was going to kick me out of her Bible study.
Yeah, you had too many...
I had too many novel ideas.
He was too free thinking for me.
Yeah, if you think you're a free thinker and you're completely cool in your little subculture, you're not a free thinker. Okay, whatever your subculture is, I don't care if it's religious or
funny. That's so true.
Or whatever. Whatever your little subculture is, if everybody in your subculture is cool with you, you're not a free thinker.
Right.
If you guys are all free thinking together the same thing at the same time, y'all are not free thinkers. Sorry.
No.
Try again. Somebody said, you claim to be a free thinker.
I'm sure the sheep think that they're free thinkers as they roam around the pen.
Right. I have never claimed to be a free thinker. My mind is closed on certain topics. For sure. And everybody's is. It's just, I'm self-aware. That's my thing. Is self-aware.
That's true. I mean, I like to think I'm free thinking because I think much freer than I used to, but I'm sure I'm not.
Yeah, we're all evolving. And I don't think, that there's that maximum, like, if you have an open mind, nothing can stay inside of it. Mm-hmm. You just make sure your mind isn't too open, because nothing will be able to stay inside of it.
Yeah.
Like this.
Well,
we jump on these silly little, open-minded free thinking. Yeah.
When you think about, though, you can't be completely open-minded and completely free thinking, because you're going to crash and burn. Like, you have to have some sort of thing. Like, when you think of a kite and you put a kite up, like, you let that friggin' thing go all over the place. But there's some grounding work that keeps it from crashing into the fucking tree.
Well, even, like, things like the moon landing and things like that.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 people will be like, oh, I mean, come on. It's like, okay, what research have you actually done on it? You saw a little grainy film in 1960.
And you believed it.
And you believed it. Like, all the shit that all of us believe. And here's the thing. We don't have enough time as human beings to go and look at
research
every single
I
idea and
know.
topic. It's I was talking to we were video chatting with one of our guys and with Khalid yesterday, or Khalid, and he's like, it's 4 o'clock where I am. I'm not doing his accent right. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I was like, 4. I was like, yeah, it's 4:15. But that's where I get all my reading and all my stuff done, because it's like,
It's quiet.
You know what I really liked about the song though? This was the whole, here's human nature again. Are you with me? Can we relate?
Yes.
Are you of like mind? Are you with me? Can we relate?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be alone.
Yep. Was that at the very end or no?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's part of the chorus.
You saw like the
Are
hand
you
come out?
with me? Yeah.
The hand was too small to be yours, but I felt like that. Like,
Yeah, that's what happened.
you did. You like
Yeah,
took
that's
me
what
into some
happened.
other place.
Yeah.
And I remember like that moment, like, yo.
Yeah, you shouldn't have went. It would have been a lot safer. And life would have been a lot...
I wouldn't have so many haters. I know that.
You wouldn't have so many lovers either. People love you. These people love you. The Christian people, not so much. Yeah.
Okay, I really liked everything.
Are you with me?
I really liked it.
Well, but you do notice though, in belief or unbelief, nobody says, yeah, I've taken this unpopular view by myself.
Right.
Everybody wants people with, even Arius. So in the early church there was the whole debate how divine is Jesus really, and all
Yep.
this, and Arius took this that Jesus, and it's funny, I was listening to this Muslim guy and he was saying that Arius was a true believer because Arius didn't believe that Jesus was capital G God. Of course, Arius still believed that Jesus created the universe. Mm-hmm. He just believed that Yahweh created Jesus and then Jesus created everything else, which still makes him a kafir according to a mushrik, actually, according to Muslim theology. But the guy, and God bless him, I'm not going to mention the sheikh because I have too much respect for him. But anyway, my point is, even Arius got a bunch of people around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nobody wants to be alone in their unbelief. I was listening to this atheist, it was like an atheist rally or pep rally or something like that. And the guy goes, hello, brothers and sisters, I'm so grateful to be around you, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It sounded like church. Like, it was just such a weird, and everybody was like, hey! Like, nobody wants to be alone, whether it's belief or unbelief. I mean, and that's why coming to that awareness, I think all of us at the village have that level of self-awareness. None of us wants to be alone. Mm-hmm. And so we love the village concept.
Right. I was gonna say that's why we all come together here. Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, oh, thank you for making the village. Thank me. I mean, this is for me. Like, I love you guys. I love hanging around, and it's only a certain group of people that want to have these deep conversations about metal songs and ideas, and
right.
And even the fights and the disagreements and the arguments. I love all of it because it means that you got to be close to someone to wrestle with.
Exactly.
So I love all of it.
Exactly. Yep.
Nobody wants to be alone. That's the thing. Even if you're introverted. If you're an introvert like me, you just want to determine when and where you get to be with people. Okay. Hit the nexus. That's okay. Thank you very much. Leave me be. Are you coming to bed?
I know. I could tell last night you didn't want to. I'm like, it's 4 a.m. though.
It was like 6.
It was 6?
Yeah, it was like 6 in the morning.
It looked pretty bright out.
I had no interest in going to bed. I had so many things I wanted to look at. I was looking at this Egyptology thing and the dating of the Sphinx and all that, and I'm like,
I should have just let you be.
Is that her poor Sori? Well, you looked so pitiful last night.
I wanted you to come to bed with me so badly.
You sent me that text. I went down with you to heat up the food. I was like, that was it. I was like, I'm gonna sacrifice my. The thing about me is, like, if I don't do it, you can always do it tomorrow. But then there's that thing I could have learned today that I'm never gonna get back. So now I'm a day behind. Then I have all this anxiety, like, oh man, I missed something. Like, I could have found some cool thing about the Sphinx and the dating and the. now it's gone. And then there's, and anytime those guys talk, they always mention some random author. Like that's how I found G.K. Beale. Was somebody mentioned something on a show about a book, I got the book, and then the book kept referencing Beale. I'm like, screw this guy. He's just dependent on Beale. So then I bought Beale, and you know what happened after that. So, like, I'm always afraid that I'm going to miss that. But it's okay. That's how you know I love you. Because the only thing that I love, like, close to as much as you is knowledge, but I love you more.
You do?
What do you give the song?
You know, I would give it 9.5, but I'm gonna dock it and give it a 9 because I didn't like those toupees flying around.
You've got to be kidding.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I felt like laughing. It looked like toupees. It literally looked like toupees.
Your Grace.
What?
We break down lyrics and the song. We do not break down the video.
But the video was up.
No, you cannot dock this song because of the video. Are you serious?
Did you think it looked like toupees? Tell me the truth.
I was too busy thinking. I wasn't even looking at the video. We're judging the song. So if Tool has a bad video, you're gonna dock them?
If they fly toupees around,
you're gonna. All right. What do you give the? What do you?
All right. Okay. I won't dock it because. No, I am. I'm giving it a 9. What are you giving it?
I've never been more annoyed. Look, I'm not asking you to judge the video, Your Grace. I'm asking you to judge the song.
Yes, but the video was up.
Lie. Okay. This is a 9.8 for me. The only reason it doesn't get a 10 is because I felt it was too short. I would have liked another 45 seconds of this
I
song.
would have liked more of it too.
I'd have liked another 45 seconds. And it's very rare that I want more, but I wanted more from this guy because I loved his lyrics. I loved I just loved what he did with his voice. I'm gonna go take a shower and listen to him in the shower a lot. So you gave it a 9, and I give it a 9.8.
Okay.
Hey guys, request more of this band because I really, really like this band, and I'm not gonna listen to any of their music because I want it to be for.
Yeah, as soon as the website is up, stop requesting stuff in the comments. Only request on the website because that's where we're gonna be getting requests from.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.